afternoon there at the White House. And here's a live look right here in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. And that is because President Trump and the First Lady are going to be pardoning the turkey. That's going to be at 2 o'clock Eastern. Our colleagues and friends at the NewsNOW from Fox headquarters in Phoenix, Arizona will have that for you. And it's going to be an exciting time. And if you happen to miss it, well, we will clip it for you on the platform that has a chat feature, and you will be able to continue to watch there as many times as you like and share with your friends, your family, your coworkers, your neighbors, everybody you know. The more, the merrier. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. I've got your morning news now from Fox briefing, just kind of get you up to speed with everything that is happening throughout the day. But right now, we're going to go to our very own News Now from Fox host Andrew Kraft in Phoenix, Arizona. He happened to do an interview about this turkey pardoning, and we're going to watch right now on News Now from Fox.
We're joined by Ron Kardel, the chairman of the National Turkey Federation. Thanks so much for joining us here on News Now from Fox. We see Corn and Cob behind you. Can you kind of tell us what is the decision-making process like when picking the turkeys to be pardoned at the White House ceremony?
Well, it's been a fun trip. We built a special building for them that was not only heated but air conditioned because of the summer heat in Iowa. They came the first part of July, and we started 30 when they were 1 day old. So then over the course of the next 18 weeks or so, we would take one out because its feathers didn't look right, or we take one out because its personality wasn't cooperating, or whatever. So it slowly got down to 4. And then this past week was when we made the decision of which 2 were going to come. That's based on their personality and their looks and all that sort of stuff.
So you kind of picked the best birds, is that what you're saying?
Oh, we picked the best of the best, you bet.
Yep. So kind of walk us through, like, once the president pardons the turkeys, then what happens to them? Do they kind of go back to the farm or what?
No, these guys are 2 of the luckiest turkeys you are ever going to see. They, from after the pardoning ceremony, they are going to travel back to Iowa State University in Ames, Iowa, where they will get to live out their natural life. And there they'll be taken care of by vet students and animal science students, as well as offer an educational area for people to come visit and see how poultry and livestock are raised, and be able to touch and feel what they eat, be able to touch what they walk on, what their bedding is. And so they will be used for educational purposes for the rest of their natural life.
And also, I was kind of wondering, what goes into this long tradition of the suite at the Willard Hotel, which you might be in right now, I'm not sure, but how did that get started, and why is that such an important part of this tradition?
Well, it's fun. These turkeys actually walked up a red carpet when they came into the hotel. My understanding is it's been at different hotels over the years, but the Willard is great and very cooperative, and geographically it's very close to the White House, so it makes a ton of sense. And they're just it's a great facility to hold this, to be able to do things like this, and to entertain the press like we did earlier today.
And how do they get transported? Do you walk them? Do they go in a car? How does that work going to the ceremony?
Oh, to the ceremony, they will be transported. They're placed in the equivalent of a pet carrier, like a dog carrier, and then they will be put in a van, and then obviously they have to go through security of some type, as well as do we, of course, and then we are allowed onto the grounds of the White House, and then they'll be removed from the pet carrier, and the ceremony takes place in the Rose Garden.
And will you be right up there with the president when he pardons them?
When he pardons them, yeah. My wife and I. My wife Susie. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And kind of how does that work? Just reaching out to the White House and with the Federation, like how long does the planning take? And kind of walk us through that behind the scenes a little bit.
Well, first of all, this is a White House event, and they invite the National Turkey Federation to participate and to bring the turkeys. And realistically, the plans for tomorrow started last February. So it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort on a lot of people's part and to make sure it all comes off, the birds gets raised, if they get transferred here, transported here. And so no, it's a pretty much an 8-month process to get it done.
And this is one of the, traditions and institutions that is going forward despite the pandemic. It's really awesome to see that, a lot of Americans have had to, put traditions and put things aside this year, but this is still going forward, which is really cool to see.
Well, what I like to say is that this is a happy event. 2020 has been a tough year, and this is a good event. It's a happy event. It covers all of Americans on an American holiday, and it's a feel-good thing in a year where there's been a lot of things that haven't quite been that way.
Yeah, and can you kind of just tell us about what the National Turkey Federation does and kind of their mission, and what can you tell viewers about the organization itself? Okay,
the National Turkey Federation represents over 99% of the turkey industry. And by that, I mean from primary breeders to growers, to processors, to vendors, to suppliers to the turkey industry. So it represents all aspects of the turkey industry. And it's utilized based here in Washington, D.C. for the reasons of governmental affairs, regulatory issues, just to be in the forefront and close to rules and regulations that we all need to live with and deal with.
Have you noticed that, I don't know if you can speak to this, but just turkey sales in general, a lot of guidelines from our officials have been, you shouldn't travel home for Thanksgiving, try to keep it small. Are people still buying turkeys this year for Thanksgiving?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The concern that we always hear are, will there be enough turkeys? And the answer is a definite yes. Will there be the exact size turkey that you want? That depends on how early you shop and if you talk to the meat counter at your grocery store. But the point that I think I should make to everybody is, if there's ever a year to buy one that's way too big, it'd be this year, because leftovers are always great. And with the stay-at-home not necessarily mandate, but situation that people are in, it's a great time to have leftovers. Freeze some, have them in a couple weeks, make different dishes out of them. It's definitely a year where, because people are staying at home, you might want some extra groceries in the house.
Yeah, and Ron, just lastly for you, I know you have to get going, but what's the naming process like? Is there, a bunch of different options or ideas? How does the name get voted on for these two?
Okay, the White House picks the names, because obviously you don't tell the White House what to do. And so this year, our local elementary school in Walcott, Iowa, I called them, and they had a contest in the school. The kids came up with several different names, pairs of names, and then the entire school voted on them. And the school came up with the names of Corn and Cob, very appropriate for Iowa. And then the National Turkey Federation, that was one of the pairs of names that was submitted to the White House. And so Walcott elementary school kids were great, and they got the name the National Thanksgiving Turkey.
That's so great. Well, Ron, we appreciate you joining News Now from Fox today. Maybe we can tilt down the camera just to see the birds a little bit more there before they get pardoned by the president. Oh, yeah. Beautiful birds right there. Yeah. All right. Corn and Cob there, and Ron Kardel from the National Turkey Federation. Appreciate you taking the time today, sir.
It's good to see you. Thank you.
Thank you so much to our very own Andrew.